And how the student stakeholder operates is based off of ecosystems. I know that I cannot do it all on my own, right? My wheelhouse and my strength is going to be curating experiences or providing the frameworks, right? So I want to collaborate with our local community partners and our national community partners. It's important that we all take ownership and responsibility of what we are saying, right? Even just the power of the tongue of how we are talking about our youth, right? And our communities and our schools. Right? In my speech, I'm like, and our students are leaders of tomorrow. And I then had a student, she spoke after me. And in her speech, she's like, student, we are leaders of today. Right?
Yes.
And I felt like she kind of side-eyed me too as I'm sitting behind her, which was great. And I needed that, right? And that was a learning moment, a learning opportunity.
Welcome to Turn Up with Pastor Charlie. First of all, we would like to say thank you to the River Radio Podcast Studio for this space that we now occupy to broadcast to the worldwide. To our visionary, Bert and Stephanie Lindsay and the Lindsay Foundation, all of our partners, local churches, schools, 501c3s, and nonprofit organizations who have come beside us for the well-being of the community. Today, I am joined in the studio by my friend, Anthony King. Anthony, say hello to the watching and listening audience.
Yes, hello. Thank you for having me this morning.
Glad you are here. We're excited about what God is doing in your life and your business and everything. So let's talk a little bit about yourself. Share a little bit about who Anthony King is. I love your story, man. So share with the watching and listening audience.
Yeah. So my name is Anthony King. I am originally from Maryland. Montgomery County, Maryland, born and raised there. I then went on to Frostburg State University, which is a small school in Western Maryland. Went there to study education and also have a coaching minor. I then relocated from Maryland to Florida in 2012. So that's where I began my career in education. Started my career as a teacher, Algebra 1 and geometry. And then also I was a coach. So I coached fall sports with football. I coached basketball and also track and field. And then I learned quickly I wanted to have more of an impact within education. So I pursued my master's in educational leadership because I wanted to now become a principal. So I pursued that degree, completed that at the conclusion of my 5th year of teaching. I then was promoted to be an administrator. So I held roles as an administrator for 7 years, instructional math coach, assistant principal, and now principal. I now have resigned from traditional education back in June of 24, where I'm now the founder and CEO of the Student Stakeholder.
Yes. Awesome. So you spent over a decade in education, from the classroom to the principal's office, and now as a founder and consultant. What moments or experience along that journey most shaped your purpose to educate, inspire, expose, and empower?
Yes. So I actually span back a little bit before my time in education. I really believe this started for me as a student, actually, in high school. So there was one point in time, and a lot of people would not believe this, but I actually had a 1.28 GPA when I was a freshman in high school. And it was actually a teacher, coach, mentor of mine still to this day who sat me down when I had that 1.28 GPA. And he made it clear to me that did not define me. And he then supported me throughout my high school career. And I actually was a student that had to go to summer school to bring my GPA up. I had to go to night school to bring my GPA up as well.
Put that extra work in, didn't you?
Yes. So those experiences helped really shape me. And that is why I then pursued a degree and a profession in education. And ultimately, then fast forward, being an educator, in 2 different states. So again, I taught and led in Florida, Lake County Public Schools, and then also Orange County Public Schools, which is Orlando.
Yeah.
And then served here in Columbus, Ohio. So all of those experiences have good, bad, and ugly, right? Has fueled me to see the opportunities, see the needs, and also, provide the solutions. So for me, the last 7 years of being an administrator, I was blessed to lead in uncharted territories with the pandemic and COVID. And that was also uncharted territories for education. So being able to have that lens and close-up seat to our students, to our families, to our communities, it then just showed me what I needed to do to best support our students and families. So it was truly all of the experiences that then shaped me to take that leap.
Yeah, that's good. That's good to know. So the birth of the student stakeholder that you mentioned, what inspired you to create the student stakeholder?
Yes. So it's first to bring awareness that students are stakeholders within their education and their learning in their communities, right?
Right.
While also they are the majority stakeholders. So, there are more students than
I don't think people
adults.
see it that way. So I think it needs to be, there needs to be processes to make people aware of that. So explain that some more. Go ahead.
Yes. So one, that's why the name of the business and organization is that, right? To first bring that awareness, right?
Yeah.
They have vested interest in their learning.
Yes.
And again, as I mentioned, led in uncharted territories within the pandemic, where we saw, declines in attendance, right?
Okay.
And increase in truancy rates, while also looking at the decline of graduation rates. And also some behavior challenges that, our country has faced throughout that due to our students and families' needs truly just not being met.
Truly.
So ultimately, for me, I've been in the seat as a principal where I'm creating the policies with my team, right? Creating the systems, creating the certain frameworks for the school. And oftentimes, those policies, those systems and frameworks may not be effective. It may not be what's best for your school environment or your culture or your students that you're serving. So I think any leader within education has had those instances, right? And oftentimes, when you look at it, they're not students in the room, in the meetings, having the conversations to create the policies, the systems, the frameworks, or initiatives for the school building, right? So ultimately, I believe through those experiences for me, where I've had challenges in best meeting my students' needs, right? Then learning that I need to involve them in that process. So I was blessed to have success in education as a teacher and also an administrator. So some of these frameworks I was able to implement, right? And that helped support in yielding success. So as a principal, was able to accomplish 100% graduation rate 3 years leading.
That's strong.
Yes, sir. And also 100% college acceptance rate as well. So
which is extremely important there.
Yes, sir. And with that, I say those data points, but also those metrics, I also understand that 100% of my students were not college and career ready. Right. And also 100% of my students did not matriculate to the next level. But ultimately, with that, there's work to be done. But with those success points, seeing our school culture change, seeing the students thrive by being able to have voice and also be a part of the decision-making process truly is then what showed me that I needed to take a leap. And it was really, faith and I didn't know
at the time. At the time, you realized the faith in it.
100%. But I was obedient, and God showed me to move forward in that. And my goal is to support more schools, more youth organizations, districts, and really for us as adults to just get out of the way, right? So from a consulting standpoint, we provide those frameworks, those resources, those strategies, really to just activate what already exists in our students, right, in our
Yeah.
young people, but giving them the opportunity to voice what they would like to see within their student life experience.
So would you say that is the why behind the organization?
Yes, definitely.
Yeah, that is the why. And some of the ideals that the students, as the majority stakeholder in the education, came to life during that process.
Yes.
Okay. Your model emphasize student-led and experience and expose based learning. How does the student stakeholders translate that mission into action? And what impact have you seen or on students and schools and communities thus so far?
Yes. So outside of the consulting, we also lead and plan experiences. So those experiences that we curate are called exposure leads to expansion experiences, right?
Yeah.
Where we want them to be exposed to diverse pathways, college, career, and beyond, right? We want them to be exposed to different individuals, cultures, backgrounds, et cetera, to best support them, right? As they are learning and navigating through their high school experience and their education, to identify what else exists outside of Columbus, Ohio, right? And for me, again, born and raised in Montgomery County, Maryland, very diverse area, relocated to Florida, and then now reside here in Columbus, Ohio. So I've now lived in three different states, multiple cities.
Yeah.
And for me and my learning, every step of the way, I got exposed, right?
Yeah, right.
Absolutely. And that truly helped support me and still supports me to this day to have an open mind.
Open your eyes and take some blinders off.
Yes. And so for that, for me, it's now me paying that forward to our students. So with the exposure leads to expansion experiences, we take students across the country. We have now done Atlanta, Cincinnati, Chicago, DC, and we are now going to be expanding the different markets that we take our students to. But we've had a lot of success in being able to expose our students to different pathways, different cities, different cultures, and then see like how they are ready, right, for these opportunities. They just may not know what exists, right?
Right.
So to see them just thrive in those moments, but then on the other end, to see them be uncomfortable at times, right, when they're on
feeling a little awkward and everything. Yeah.
So you see some of that uncomfortableness while they're on Morehouse's campus or while they're at Frito-Lay for our career panel, and that's also good to see because they're being stretched. They're learning, they're being developed through that process. And then also what we do outside of the career and college aspiration on these experiences, we have fun, right? So we go out and enjoy the city, explore the city, do different social experiences, but then we also do professional sports outings wherever we go as well.
That's been a blessing for them as well.
Yes.
Thank you for keeping us in the loop with some of the video clips that we receive as One Your Turn partners. We're able to see that some of the activities that you have and activities and events that you have taking the youth to these students to ball games, NBA ball players, and seeing them in NBA games, and that's in NFL and or so forth. Just visiting the other cities, so it's a great look. So again, thank you for that. What's next in 2026 and beyond? Where are you looking ahead to? What kind of big plans for the spring for us?
Yes. So we have a lot of great things on the horizon. As you mentioned, each of our experiences include college visits, career exploration, community service, and professional sports outings. So we've done NBA, NFL, MLB. We just did a local experience back here in October where we also did a Columbus Blue Jackets game. So we've implemented NHL. So I guess from that standpoint, from the professional sports outings, we want to continue to increase that. We want to do WNBA. We want to do
that'd be good.
MLS as well, and some other professional sports that exist locally and nationally. From a market standpoint, we want to continue to visit the cities that we've gone to as we are developing some great partnerships and relationships with organizations and schools in these cities, but then also looking to expand to different markets as well, while also the next phase being bringing more students in schools and youth-led organizations to Columbus, Ohio.
That'd be nice.
Yeah, so there's a lot of
New
great things.
experience.
Yes,
Yeah.
sir. Yes, there's a lot of great things that exist here. So we want to increase our visits to where we're bringing students from out of state to be exposed to the career pathways, the individuals, the colleges, the universities that exist here.
Yeah.
While also not missing what we can do with our local students and expose our students to what exists in the beautiful city of Columbus as well.
Could you be surprised how some of them just been only gravitated to their own neighborhood and never been on the other side of town? So yes, this is just as important to expose them and bring awareness to what is in the city on the other side of town, which they probably never been on. I mean, I can recall as growing up in inner city and growing up at East High School, never driving out to Pickerton. I mean, we didn't drive out to Hilliard unless we played them in sports or went to DeSales and ran on their track or something of that nature. But other than that, you kind of stick in your own neighborhood. Yes. So the exposure of what's around you is very important.
Very, very important. Even like for me, again, being from Montgomery County, Maryland, which is right outside of D.C., we didn't go visit the White House often. We didn't go to the museums and take advantage of the opportunities and the things that, people are traveling all around the world to see. So, that just naturally happens wherever you're from. But ultimately, it's important that, one, we bring awareness to those things. Yeah. And then how can we ensure that we're exposing our students to the great things that exist, but then also involve them in that process of like, what do they want to see within their city, within their communities as well. So we're looking to strengthen that and increase our local experiences. Outside of that, we have some great internship opportunities on the horizon. Okay. So extremely excited and blessed to have a partnership with Lead the Way Learning Academy and AMP, which allows allows us to be able to pay students. So we'll be releasing here in December.
That's good.
Our application process to hire high school age students, where they can get paid up to $15 an hour. So they'll learn all of the behind the scenes and the workings of how to curate and plan experiences.
That's great.
So I'm extremely excited about that. And then they'll have the opportunities to go on the experiences as well, right?
And make some money too.
Yes, exactly. So they'll be happy about that. So,
yes.
So be able to pay them. They get the behind the scenes and internship opportunity, go on these experiences out of state, and then also be the student leaders and student advocates for our other students that attend. So in spring of 26, we have 3 experiences currently on the horizon.
Okay.
We have Atlanta, where that will be April 6th to April 8th. We have Washington, D.C., which will be April 19th to April 21st.
Okay.
And then we have just a one-day experience in May 23rd to Cincinnati. So those are the great things that are currently on the horizon.
Great. How can the community members and organization, local partners get involved? How can they get involved?
Great question. Yeah. So I'm big on speaking about ecosystems.
Okay.
Right?
All right. Yep.
And how the student stakeholder operates is based off of ecosystems. I know that I cannot do it all on my own, right? My wheelhouse and my strength is going to be curating experiences or providing the frameworks, right? So I want to collaborate with our local community partners and our national community partners. And, T.U.R.N has been a great partner for us as well. With that, it's like, what point of the ecosystem do you want to be a part of? Right. So
the door is open, right?
The door is open, and there's infinite entry points to that ecosystem. So I understand with my business that there's different phases. And things are seasonal. So let's say At one point throughout the year, it only makes sense for you to like potentially come speak to some of the students that we're serving. If that's all you got for 15 to 30 minutes,
hey, we take it.
we welcome that. That could also be on the other end. You may want to host students to come visit your business or your organization, right? Where we can do a tour, do a career panel, and expose them to the opportunities, or even creating internship pathways and pipelines to your organization, right? So again, those are just like small examples of that, but it can range from donating meals, right?
Okay.
To just showing up and volunteering. To as big as potentially supporting from a sponsorship or funding standpoint. So again, wherever it makes sense for a partner to be involved, we want it to make sense for that partner.
Absolutely.
And we welcome any support as our students are learning, right? And I want to expose them, and we want to expose them to the diverse individuals, pathways, and opportunities that may exist for them.
So let's take a moment and share how people can reach you in regards of so they could, if they was interested in donating or volunteering or something like, how can they reach you?
Yes.
What are some of your handles?
Yep. So we can be found at thestudentstakeholder.com. So everything is the student stakeholder. So that is our website. On our website, you can contact us. So our email is there. Our contact information is there. There's also opportunities for you to subscribe, so you can learn more information on a periodic basis. We also are on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube, and all of those handles are at the student stakeholder.
That's awesome. Great. I'm going to give you about 2 or 3 minutes. If there's something in that's on your heart that you wanted to share, it's like, as I was driving over here, I wanted to make sure I share this with the watching and listening audience. Is it something that you wanted to plug or share? That sure. You want to make sure you covered?
Sure. I was just say first, thank you for this opportunity.
Man, I appreciate you. Thank you.
Like greatly appreciate it. I'm a big supporter of what T.U.R.N is doing, what you're doing, and what you all have been doing. For a lot of time. So, thank you for continuing to curate these spaces for individuals like myself, and other local community leaders as well. It's very, very impactful, and also kind of just with that. The entrepreneurship life or leading a business life is not easy. So just being able to have that community, have that fellowship is very important to me. So just wanted to just share that from that standpoint. And ultimately, I also just would want to share that, speaking more specifically to our youth and our students. I think oftentimes things are even about education, right? Oftentimes what may get communicated or shared massively, there's a lot of negative connotation to our youth, to our students, to our communities, and what may be happening within schools. And it's important that we all take ownership and responsibility of what we are saying, right? Even just that's like good. The power of the tongue of how we are talking about our youth, right? And our communities and our schools. So I think just with that, just being cognizant of, the power of the tongue and what's shared, while also with that, doing our due diligence of looking at the positive data, right? And I say
there is some positive data.
There is some great positive data, and I see it every day within our young people, right? And the purpose and the why also behind the student stakeholder is that, right? Exposing our adults, exposing people all across the country that our students are ready, that they are equipped, that they are intelligent, that they have goals and dreams, right? And there's also a level of exposure and learning that the adults can take from them. So ultimately, because I have not really shared that in this conversation, when I began putting together some of these frameworks or these experiences, the learning that it did for me, and the
that's
impact that
true.
it had on me.
It helped you first.
Yeah, it helped me first to be able to approach our students differently, you know, to shift my mindset a little bit, to best meet their needs, right? So there's also a level of that where I want our adults, our educators, our community leaders, you know, to take time to listen, right, to our students and pay attention to the great things that they are doing.
Yeah.
And partnering or collaborating with us is one step for that to come to fruition. So
absolutely.
I say all that to say, you know, the doors are open. If anyone's interested in learning more or wanting to collaborate or partner with the student stakeholder, we welcome that. And I'm just excited to continue to see the great things that our students are doing, not only within our programming, but then also what they are now doing in their prospective pathways, right? Because now some of our students are in internship pipelines, or some of our students are walking the college campuses, right?
That they being visited. Mentors and so forth.
Yes. So I'm just excited to see the great things that our students continue to do, and I look forward to strengthening our partnerships and our relationships with individuals that want to be a part of that vision and mission.
And something that you said too that remind me of our task as the Ultimate Resource Network, as T.U.R.N, when we were making our contacts with the schools, you know, we didn't go in and say, hey, this is what we offer. We went in and said, what is it that you need? Yes. So we found out what the need was, you know, what the students' needs were, and then that's what we supplied. We didn't go in and say, okay, we're going to give you a grant money for $1,000. We went in finding out what it was. They needed phone chargers for or laptop chargers. And one school, they needed the sports team needed uniforms. I mean, so we found out what the needs were and we met the needs, and that allowed our doors to be open, allow them to open their doors and allow us to walk through and be able to have a relationship versus, you know, oftentimes we think writing a check is our way of supporting, or, you know, we doing our due diligence where it's really satisfying us and not them.
Correct.
So the true objective is to satisfy and help those who are in need. So I appreciate the way the method and the vision and the mission of your stakeholder position. So thank you for what you're doing in the lives of our young people, because our next generation have people like you and your team. And so there is a bright future ahead. So I'm excited about our future.
Yes. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thank you. Anything else? Anything else on your heart?
Yeah, I would just share this to that point.
Yeah.
It was actually,
go ahead.
When you talk about our students, I was doing a commencement speech as a principal.
Okay.
Right. In my speech, I'm like, and our students are leaders of tomorrow.
Yeah.
And I then had a student who she's now at Duke University, extremely bright. She spoke after me. Okay. And in her speech, she's like, student, we are leaders of today. Right?
Yes.
And I felt like she kind of side-eyed me too as I'm sitting behind her, which was great. And I needed that, right? And that was a learning moment and a learning opportunity for me. And I'm like, you know what?
You're right.
You are truly right. You are the leaders of today, right? Yeah. So again, always continuing to just have that lens.
Yes.
And I would just say, you know, lastly, as far as like what we all provide at the student stakeholder, if anyone that's interested, again, as we mentioned, the consulting services.
Absolutely.
So we will come in and identify, you know, what the needs are, right, through the voice of your students, so we can best support them. We offer the public experience, as I mentioned, the 3 that are on the horizon.
Yes.
But then we also can develop private experiences as well. So, example, if you are a school or youth organization that just wants an experience specifically for the students that you serve, we have a menu of options where we then involve your students in the decision-making process to curate that experience.
That's
right?
Good. That's good.
So that is also another opportunity that exists. In addition to supporting with bringing in local community partners to strengthen the school community, right? So again, as you mentioned,
foundation, anything
that the student stakeholder can't provide, here we want to point you in the direction of the other local community partners that can provide that said service or resource for your school. And that could, be a wide range of things. If you want community partners to come in to speak, we can support with curating those panels or those opportunities. You want financial literacy, we can point you in the direction of those partners that can support in that arena. So just using that as an example.
Yeah, that's great. That's
but
good
also
to know.
just wanted to ensure all of the listeners have a full scope of everything that we provide.
Yeah, that's good. That's good to know. All right. Appreciate that. We like to take this time to thank you again for taking time out of your busy schedule and visiting with us today in the studio. I'm so proud of the work that you are doing. I am excited about your future, and I love the connection that we have. We've been seeing one another quite frequently here lately. We've been involved in some good circles, and you're doing some great things, so I'm excited about that. So with that said, we'd just like to go ahead and close up and wrap up the session this afternoon. And I want to thank everyone for watching and listening to Turn Up with Pastor Charlie. And we like to thank the River Radio Podcast Studio for their space that we now occupy for the broadcast worldwide. To our visionary, Bert and Stephanie Lindsay, and the Lindsay Foundation, all of the partners in local churches, schools, 501c3s, nonprofit organizations, who all have come beside us for the well-being of the community. So we say thank you and have a blessed day.
So much.
All right. Amen.